What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Handheld Hero. Summer 2026 is actually looking pretty stacked, and if you haven't really been keeping up with what's coming, there are already a few games that are absolutely worth paying attention to. So today, I want to go over 5 games that I think you should have on your radar for this summer. Not all of these are guaranteed hits, but every single one of them has something interesting going for it. So let's get into it. At number 5, I've got Avatar Legends: The Fighting Game. This one launches on July 2nd, and what immediately makes it interesting is that this is not just another random licensed fighter. The game is leaning hard into that hand-drawn 2D look, which actually fits the Avatar universe really well. It also comes in at $29.99, which is honestly a pretty aggressive price for a fighting game that's also launching with rollback netcode. So right away, it already feels like a game that understands what kind of audience it's trying to reach. And that matters, because with a game like this, the real question is always whether it can stand on its own once the novelty wears off. If the combat feels good, if the bending styles really feel distinct, and if the overall roster has enough variety, this could end up being way more legit than people expect. So for me, this one earns a spot on the list because the concept already makes sense, the visual identity is there, and the pricing makes it feel like a much easier game for people to actually jump into. At number 4, I've got Ascend to Zero. This one is set to launch on July 13th, and one of the biggest reasons this game stands out right away is that it's coming to Game Pass on day 1. That alone gives it a real chance to get in front of a lot more people immediately, but the more important part is the actual concept. This is a time-bending action roguelike from Flyway Games, and the whole pitch is built around freezing time and using that mechanic inside combat. That already gives it more identity than a lot of smaller action games. You're not just looking for fast combat here, you're looking for a game where the time mechanic actually feels central to the experience, and not just like something that sounds cool in a trailer. That's what puts this one on my radar. It's not the biggest name on this list, but it definitely feels like one of those games that could build real word of mouth fast if the core loop is strong. At number 3, I've got Beast of Reincarnation. This one launches on August 4th, and the first reason it stands out is simple. This is a brand new action RPG from Game Freak. That alone makes it worth paying attention to, but what gives it a little more weight is that it's not just leaning on visual style. The game is built around Emma and her dog companion Ku in a post-apocalyptic version of Japan. So right away, it already has a stronger identity than something that just looks cool for one trailer and then disappears. That's what I like about it. It feels like there's an actual setup here, not just atmosphere, and with a game like this, that matters a lot. Because if the combat lands and the world building holds up, this could end up being one of the more interesting action RPGs of the summer. At number 2, I've got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now this one is a little different from the rest of the list. It's not a brand new game in the purest sense, but with the June 3rd release on Nintendo Switch 2 and Xbox Series X and S, it absolutely belongs in the summer conversation. And the reason is simple. Anytime a game like this opens up to more players, it becomes relevant again. More people jump in, more people start talking about it, and the game basically gets another wave of momentum. That matters even more with a title like Rebirth, because this is not some small release that people are going to forget in a week. This is still one of the biggest RPG names in the conversation, and now it's about to hit 2 more major platforms. And on top of that, the new version includes streamlined progression, which is a nice touch for players who want a smoother way to move through the game and focus more on the story. So even if you've already seen a lot about it, I still think it belongs on the radar this summer because it's about to reach a whole new audience again. At number 1, I've got Marvel Tokon: Fighting Souls. This one launches on August 6th for PS5 and PC. And out of everything on this list, this is probably the easiest game to look at and say, yeah, this has real breakout potential. It's Marvel, it's a fighting game, and more importantly, it has Arc System Works involved alongside PlayStation Studios and Marvel Games. That matters a lot, because when people hear Arc System Works, they immediately think about that fast, flashy anime fighting game style, and that already gives this game a lot more weight. PlayStation is also positioning this as a 4 vs 4 tag team fighter, which makes it feel a lot more ambitious than a standard one-on-one setup, and at launch, it's supposed to have 20 playable characters. So this doesn't sound like a small swing, It sounds like a game that wants to come out with a strong identity from day one. That's the main reason it lands at number 1 for me. This already has attention. Now it's really about whether it can back that attention up, and that's exactly why I think it deserves the number 1 spot on this list. So those are 5 games I think are worth having on your radar for summer 2026. Avatar Legends, the fighting game, Ascent to Zero, Beast of Reincarnation, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Some of these feel like bigger bets than others, but that's kind of the point. Summer gets a lot more interesting when you've got a mix of obvious names, a couple of wild cards, and 1 or 2 games that could end up surprising people. Let me know which one you're watching the closest, and I'll catch you in the next one.